Welcome to episode 21 of the Skincare Teacher Beauty Tip Show. This episode is part 2 of my interview with Olivia Elston from the Heavenly Feminine podcast. In part 1, we talked about what it's like to work in the beauty industry and her experience working in the retail space. It was a real fun episode and we shared some great insights and tips for those looking to work in the health and beauty industry. Be sure to go back and listen to part 1 of this episode. You will find it really interesting. Now, in this episode, we dig deeper into the topic of why people should use skincare products. We discuss some of the essential products everyone should use in a good skincare routine and how to have a healthy and glowing skin now and into the future. You will love the many skincare and beauty tips, and I'm sure you will find this episode really fun to listen to. And now, let's continue with part 2, What is the Point of Skincare? With Olivia Elston. Stay tuned and enjoy. Welcome to the Skincare Teacher Beauty Tip Show, brought to you by SkincareSchoolOnline.com. In this show, you will discover skincare and beauty tips that absolutely work. I'm Jana Elston, a qualified beauty therapist, skincare educator and blogger, and in this show, I will share my expert insights into the best beauty treatments that will transform your skin. Tune in each week to learn about how to look after your skin and manage skin conditions, including a sensitized skin, acne, aging, or pigmentation.
Why? Why do skincare, Mum?
So then we had such a great conversation. And for me, because I've been doing it for a long time, to me, skincare is essential, really. Yeah. Essential for so many reasons. So let's talk about the first one, okay? The very first thing about looking after your skin is it's just basic hygiene, right? So as I was saying on your podcast, when we were talking, when you were little and I was teaching you how to look after yourself, I would bath you and shower you. But then when you got a little bit older, you started doing it yourself. So I would say you use the shampoo that's for your hair. You would use the soap that's for your body. You would use the toothpaste for your teeth. And the cleanser is for your face, and right? And you had all those products in the shower, in the bathroom. So you learn to use it, and that's because it comes down to hygiene. It's just like washing your hands. You wash your hands. You got to wash your face too, right? It's funny, like, I don't understand why people feel like they can wash their hair, their body, their hands, and brush their teeth, but not their face. Like,
yeah,
I don't get it. Like, why leave the face out? What is it about the face that doesn't deserve that attention, right? Because the face can get dirty too. You've got oil flow, you've got the pollution, the dust that settles on the skin during the day. So it does come down to basic hygiene, really, cleaning and staying hygienic.
Which, by the way, is such a good answer. I felt so stupid that I didn't even think of that. It was like basic hygiene.
Yeah, basic, and that's where we start. That's a starting point. That's where your essential basics is really just basic hygiene. Now, the second reason is prevention, right? Prevention is the key, really, in regards to looking after your skin. Down the track, when you're older, you may experience sun damage and aging and rosacea or other things. Or when you're younger, you hit puberty, you start to get oil flow, which may develop into comedones like the blackheads and congestion and acne. Well, really, if you start from scratch and start looking after your skin, prevention is the key. And in a lot of cases, if you look after your skin with the very, very basics, then you can prevent a lot of those problems from occurring. Maintenance and protection is really important for the skin. See, our skin is our largest organ. And it is an organ, it's a living, breathing organ. The purpose of the organ is to protect us from the environment, right? So our skin is like a shield, particularly during the day. It acts like a shield to protect us from UV damage. It protects us from bacterial infections. So it's a really effective barrier that prevents bacteria from getting in, from fungus getting in, from other critters getting in that could harm us and make us sick. The way that these things do get in the skin is if we have a cut. If we have a scrape, the skin is open. That's how bacteria can get in. So that's the main purpose of the skin, is to protect us from from the environment. But it does also help regulate temperature, it helps excrete waste. So there are other biological reasons for the skin on what it does.
Oh my god, can you tell the fact that you mentioned on my episode? Do you know what one I'm talking about?
I do. So we were talking about the importance of cleansing, right? So coming back to the hygiene and keeping the skin clean. And we all know everybody cleanses the skin at night. Well, most people do, right? So they clean the skin if they're wearing makeup to remove makeup, or if they've been out and about, they clean the skin because, dust and dirt settle on the skin. So you cleanse your skin before you go to bed. I hope you do. Although I know there are some people who go to bed with their makeup on and...
I know. I'm like, I understand maybe one night you're super hungover. Not there yet. Probably maybe going into there already.
Yeah.
And, but... try.
Yeah.
Please try.
Yeah.
And it's like...
It goes on your pillows are grubby. And then not only that all that makeup, the dirt on your face will clog up your pores and it literally suffocates the skin. So it's important to take all that off. And the sunscreen as well. You've got sunscreen sitting on your skin too. But what people often tell me in the mornings are just splash water. They think they've cleansed the skin at night, that they should be good to go, that all they need to do is splash water. The problem is water doesn't have anything in it to wash away oil residue because water doesn't break down oil. And we produce natural oils from our skin, and that can act as a magnet sometimes for all the dirt and grime as well, the dust. So even if you're sleeping, yes, there could be dust around. But the main thing is, I said during the day your skin acts like a shield. So it's kind of asleep, acts like a shield to protect you from the environment. Then during the night, when you're sleeping and your other internal organs are resting, your brain is resting, your skin becomes alive. So all the blood is redirected towards your skin. And then that's when the skin comes alive. There is a study called chronobiology, and they've actually studied this, and they found that your skin has the highest amount of blood flow to it between the hours of 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. And the blood flow serves to bring nutrients in, then your lymphatics and your immune cells come in to take away all the waste. And basically the skin is in a repair mode. So if you sustain some damage, if you scraped an ankle, you cut a finger, that's when it heals. It heals overnight. That's when it's supposed to do that. Now, part of that biological action, so when it's receiving nutrients, just like if you eat something, eventually the waste comes out, right? So the same thing with our skin cells in our skin. They'll take in nutrients and they expel waste into the interstitial area. The skin, as part of one of its functions, is that it excretes waste to the surface through our sweat glands, for example. Now, sweat contains an ingredient called urea, which, by the way, urea is an ingredient in urine, which is a waste byproduct. So literally, in the morning, you wake up, you've got urea on your face.
Guys, you wake up with a wee on your face. Please wash your face.
So if you don't wash your face, you're walking around with that all day.
Yeah.
So that's really important to wash away the biological waste from your skin in the morning. And water is not enough to do that. So you need a cleanser. I use a skincare range called Sotis, which is a professional only skincare range. And they have actually a cleanser for the morning. It's called the Morning Cleanser, which is fantastic. It's a gentle, creamy cleanser with enzymes in it. Enzymes are great because they act like Pac-Man. They digest up all the waste that's sitting on the skin. They help to deep cleanse the pores, and it's nice and gentle. So, and that just sets my day, right? So a really popular product with our customers.
I was going to say on that note, a lot of the time when I'm talking about skincare and the steps and the routine to my customers, usually they only go away with one cleanser because they want to get one like good high quality, high end, which is totally fine. But I do always like to remind them that, and a lot of them already know, they've seen the double cleanse come into like fashion, and I tell them how much, like how good that really is. Like if you get a cleanser, like pair it off a gel with an oil or something like that, and because you can get one that's a bit more, I don't know if harsh is the right word, but that's a bit more like grizzly bear at getting your makeup off and getting the sunscreen off at the end of the day, and then following it up with more of a gentle wash to make sure everything is gone. That's kind of what we talk about. Yeah. And I'm like, you can use that gentle one in the morning too, because you don't need that
heavy duty
that's
cleanser.
a good word. Heavy duty. Grizzly bear.
Yeah, grizzly. Heavy duty. So we're talking about what you're talking about at night, using a pre-cleanse. Like you said, they've become really popular. Look, they've been around. I've been, like I said, in the industry for so long, and they've come and gone. There've been brands who specialize in this pre-cleanse concept, and usually they're oil cleansers. Although the thing that I've seen that has changed more recently is that originally they were like true oils, like you massage the oil. And then it's, now with the pre-cleansers, when you put it on, it turns to milk and then it's easily rinsed off. Whereas the original ones, they didn't do that. They were just basically oils you massaged in, which dissolved all the makeup. Then you needed a second cleanser to remove that oil and then condition the skin. Whereas today's, the pre-cleansing products are generally oil-based, but they have something else in them that helps to emulsify with water. So they got emulsifiers in them that mixes with water, that turns it milky, and then it just rinses off nicely. And then you can use a cleanser again to condition. Or in our case, when products I work with, we use oil cleanser to remove makeup and then follow with a treatment cleanser. So the cleansers we work with will treat, whether you've got rosacea.
So you think the other one is actually what that treats. Right, because I was going to ask that a lot of what I've been hearing is to encourage to have a cleanser, especially for people with oilier skin types or who have acne, for a cleanser with BHAs in it because it goes beneath the skin. It really breaks down that glue between like the oils and stuff. Is the BHA salicylic acid? Am I right? Oh my gosh, genius. But
A-star.
But I remember, because you helped me remember that AHAs, they're more, A stands for above the skin and BHA's below, and there's only that one really superstar BHA, the salicylic acid, and so having a cleanser with that in it, it's really good for oily skin in particular. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. No, so we have a cleanser like that too that has both AHAs, BHAs in it.
Right.
And we call it the active cleanser.
Yeah.
Because it's quite active. When you use it on the skin, it may tingle a little bit because it's got the AHAs, BHAs in it. And we would recommend that for a different type of client to treat the skin. So if they've got pigmentation, sun damage, clogged pores, blackheads, congestion, textured skin, that's really good for treatment. So they will use that first. And then they would use their normal regular milky cleanser afterwards to then condition the skin, right?
Right. So the first one can kind of be for an issue, like a concern you're having, and like even if that's just to get off makeup and sunscreen. And your second cleanser is something more towards like your skin type.
Yes.
Is that so?
Skin
one
type,
that's
or even can support then this treatment of skin conditions too, like rosacea or dry, dehydrated skin or sensitive skin, things like that.
Yeah.
Not everybody needs two cleansers. So this active cleanser, we would recommend it for a short period for certain skins, and as they improve, then we would move them onto the oil cleanser, or they just stick with the one. Do you have to do a double cleanse? No, you don't. If you've got a really good quality cleanser that can remove makeup and condition your skin, then you're totally fine just using that one cleanser, and you can use it morning and night.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about those people who either are time poor, they can't really afford skincare, or they get confused with a lot of products, right? You can't, just the one cleanser can serve you really well, but invest in the best one you can afford.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is just talk to your beauty therapist and ask them about, what's the best cleanser for me, and just stick with that. That's totally fine.
So I guess what I was thinking, circling back, was that if you have an active cleanser, that's one that you don't want to use morning and night, really, because it'll be too much on the skin.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really important. And I'll talk about exfoliation and how some people really overdo it. It can cause a lot of problems down the track with the skin. Yeah. Now and down the track as well. It can really stress the skin out. So we'll talk about that.
I was just talking to one of my coworkers the other day who said she accidentally, unintentionally used a really strong I think it was a serum, and she was using it morning and night, and she didn't realize how strong it was, and she's totally destroyed her skin barrier now. And her skin barrier, and she said it's been like 3 months and she's still really sensitive. Wow. And so she's still working on building it up. So, yeah.
So here is what I say to people. Your skin has a memory.
Yeah.
right? In 10, 20, 30 years from now, your skin will repay you for what you did today, right? So be kind and be very gentle with your skin. Your skin cells have a memory. The immune cells build a memory to anything that's compromising the skin barrier. And if they come in contact with something like that down the track, they'll react very, very quickly and easily.
Yeah.
It's interesting. When I first started doing beauty therapy, barrier protection, maintaining skin health for now and the long term was the key fundamental principles of beauty therapy, is what we did. Then we went through a phase back in the late 90s, 2000s, where a lot of these cosmeceuticals were coming into the Australian market. That was really driven by what was happening in the US. And suddenly they were the answer to all your problems. And people started using lots of harsh products on their skin. We started realizing that, several years as we're seeing the results of those harsh products on the skin, how it affected the barrier, not only for now, but long term. I've got an example of a lady who actually worked, she's a beauty therapist, and she worked with one of these brands that was massive in the late 90s, early 2000s, in the professional sphere, in the beauty industry. And if you're a beauty therapist, you probably know which product I'm talking about. They were big on peels, particularly glycolic peels. And they just peel. Pretty much all the retail products have peel, because we're going to get rid of your acne, your aging, everything else. What ended up happening, she used to be really big into peels on herself. So she probably had that beautiful, glowy, shiny skin then. Now it caught up with her. As she was going through menopause, her skin suddenly just went haywire. It became so sensitized that she couldn't even splash water. Water on her face was burning her skin.
No way.
And it came down to that she couldn't use anything on her face. And she was struggling to find products that wouldn't burn her. As it was, we just happened to have launched a repair range that was designed for people who's just done laser treatments, micro needling, microdermabrasion. So it was just a small range of products that would help to address by calming and soothing the skin and helping it to heal. So she went on this range, which, by the way, didn't burn her skin for once. So she was really super excited to use that. And she had to use it for about a year. So she went through a program of desensitizing, rebuilding that barrier. And it took about a year before she could start expanding into other products. 2 lessons here. Don't be too harsh with your skin. But if you accidentally do something, there is hope. We can fix it. Your skin will repair itself if you just give it a chance to. Just get off all the harsh products and go back to the basics. Use hypoallergenic products, use ingredients that repair the skin. And eventually your skin will heal itself. But you will always, in the future, be a little bit careful and go easy with things in the future, because your skin will remember that time. So we talked about why do skincare, and we talked about that it's just basic hygiene. We talked about the protection, how our skin acts as a protective barrier, which is why is there such a big focus on barrier today.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. In my early days, we talked about that. We went through this harsh product phase, and now we've gone back to really looking after a barrier. And finally, it's age management. And with age management, often I would see clients coming into the salon and they go, I'm starting to see wrinkles. Starting to see sun damage. I've never really looked after my skin, but now I see I have to. Here's a lesson learned. If you start earlier, you're going to delay those effects of sun and aging for longer. I would say my skin looks decades younger than my mum's did when she was at my age. My mum, although she was a farmer and she smoked, so she did all the wrong things for her skin as well.
Not saying being a farmer is bad, but she didn't use sunscreen and stuff.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. She didn't use sunscreen. She didn't look after her skin.
Yeah.
As far as I know. The accumulative damage caught up with her a lot faster, and the aging through smoking caught up with her a lot faster as well. Prevention and maintenance is really the key when we talk about why we should look after our skin. Then there is the psychological aspect that we go into about looking after ourselves. When you look after skin, your skincare is your self-care. It's that moment you give to yourself every day, whether it's 30 seconds, whether it's 1 minute, or whether you spend a little bit longer time to look after yourself. But it's that your time to give back to yourself and look after yourself. And ultimately, that is part of that wellness concept. It's part of the well-being. It's part of your lifestyle. It's part of stress management, de-stressing, just taking the time out. which ultimately will help to boost your confidence, feel good about yourself, and love yourself, right? When people say, it's all just vanity, I don't think so. For most people, what it is them loving themselves and them caring about themselves. So it's definitely a psychological aspect to it as well. I just find that when you do skincare, it just helps you release stress, especially when you take the time out and do that mini facial once a week for yourself. You cleanse, you do an exfoliation, you put a mask on, which is what I do. I'll make my cup of tea, I'll sit down, scroll through Instagram or whatever.
And I was going to say, again, like, having that time to wind down, and we mentioned in my episode about like the aromatherapy of it, that some of our skincare products that we use do have particular smells, like even if it's not something like fragrance heavy, but even just the smell of your cleanser might take you back to remembering that it's time to wind down, or or it's time for a moment of like self-care and grounding and rooting myself into the moment. So I think that's also such a cool part of it. Although yes, it is basic hygiene, it does have that wellness aspect that it transports you to a time, knowingly or not. It literally does transport you into this moment of being with yourself and actually checking in with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a big trend with some cosmeceutical ranges that they are fragrance-free. And I'm putting that in exclamation mark because there's no such thing really. When you manufacture a formula, when you manufacture a product through natural ingredients and the chemicals that they use, and everything's a chemical, right? Even natural-based products. So through that natural process, you will have a fragrance to that product. Just like when you're cooking a meal, you'll notice that there is an odor coming off that meal. So every product will have an odor. So even in a fragrance-free range, they will put something in it to neutralize any bad odors that are not pleasant to use on your skin, which makes it smell like it's neutral, smell like there is no floral fragrance or things like that added to it. It'll just make it neutral. There's been a big trend with that. And the reason brands decide this is fragrance-free, which makes it seem like it's better for your skin because fragrances are the bad guys and they're going to irritate your skin. It's not the case in every case. Yes, it's the case in the cheaper products when they use synthetic fragrances. They can really irritate the skin. But if you go with better quality products and professional products, they may have natural scent in them from the flowers they use, the herbs they use, the fruits they use. That adds to that sensorial aspect of your enjoyment. Yeah. See, I love working with French brands particularly because they do things so beautifully. For them, sensoriality is an important part of their lifestyle. It's part of pleasure. I can't wait to come home and do my skincare because it makes me feel beautiful. That sense of it, as in the fragrance, it's pleasurable to use, it relaxes me. So in a lot of cases, good quality product, you will have the natural scent from the active ingredients they use, or natural ingredients, but they put it together in such a way that it's pleasurable to use and non-irritating to the skin. Yeah. And that's really important. And there is always one way to find out is do a patch test. Get a sample, patch test the skin if you're a little bit unsure. They're not formulating the product to irritate the crap out of your skin, right? They don't do it. Yeah. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in business, right? Yeah. They do it because they want that product to be pleasurable to use.
Exactly.
All right, so it's okay.
They're doing it for you.
Yeah, so don't be afraid of fragrance. It's not the bad all, it's not the bad guy, but you do have to be selective in the products that you use. Yeah. Because like I said, the cheaper products will use cheaper ingredients that can potentially irritate the skin.
And I definitely do know as well, there's a lot of people I know, and sometimes I can even go through a phase with it where they can give me headaches, like people prone to migraines, or some people as well who might be neurodivergent and or have sensory issues and or sensory processing issues. And sometimes that fragrance, even if it's like very, like floral or fruity or something, and it's something natural, it can be overwhelming for them. Yes. So I totally get that there are those brands out there, but just don't be fooled that the whole point of this is don't be fooled that fragrance is bad. It's not bad, but if you love that experience, don't be afraid to chase that and find ones that work for you. And if you can't do fragrance, if it's too much for you, that's totally cool too. Make sure you're finding ones that are good for you as well.
I think the lesson here is choose better quality products. Yeah. Rather than having quantity, which is how the French women do it. Rather than having quantity, they have quality.
Yeah.
You compare my wardrobe to a lady that lives in France, a typical French woman, it will be a quarter the size because they have quality items in the wardrobe rather than lots of the same things in poor quality, right? So, and the same goes with skincare. They really invest in themselves. So choose a product that, whether it's fragrance free or whether it has a scent that makes you happy, gives you pleasure. It's an individual thing. So yeah.
For sure.
So we talked about the psychological aspect of wellness and how it helps build your confidence, how it can be grounding at the end of the day. When you come home from a big day at work and you just can't wait, like me, I can't wait to cleanse my skin.
Oh my God, me too. As an oily girl,
yes.
I just cannot wait.
Just come home, take that makeup off, put your trackies on and your t-shirt on, put your hair up in the bun and just relax, you know, which is
Bra
great.
off, girls. Bra off.
So there's a psychological, and then there is the self-awareness aspect about knowing your skin, right? So being aware. Now, one of the things women are taught when we become a certain age is to regularly check our breasts for lumps. So we'll be in the shower, so the doctor would show you when you're in the shower and you've got the shower gel on, then you can do your self-examination. And I think that's the same thing with your skin. I think it's important to keep an eye on your skin. I can't tell you how many stories, and beauty therapists can relate to this. We would have a client come in, they would have a wax or a back massage or something, and then you see a suspicious mole on the back or suspicious mark on the back. And you say, okay, can you please go and see that? They come back and go, oh my God, you saved my life. That, test came back and it's melanoma or whatever. We get so many stories like that. So number one, living in Australia, it's important that you examine your skin and be aware. So when you're doing skincare, you're naturally focusing on your skin and you become used to the texture, the feel of it. So you know if the skin's getting flaky or if it's getting rough. Pay attention to if it gets itchy, because that's the first sign that either you're breaking out or there is a barrier problem.
Or becoming sensitized to something.
Becoming sensitized. Be aware of that. Listen to your skin and watch your skin. So I say listen to your skin as in be aware how it feels. And if it's not feeling like normal, something's off, go and talk to somebody. I said, okay, it's feeling like it's really tight, or it feels like it's really tingly at the moment, or it gets red easily, or whatever it is. Go and talk to somebody about it. I said, something's not right. I'm not sure what's happening. I didn't change skincare, but you know what? The season could have changed. You could have eaten something that doesn't agree with you. Could be stress, hormones. Yeah, absolutely. So skincare is part of, getting to know your skin and keeping an eye on your skin. And of course, if you see some unusual lesions that pop up and they just don't go away, and it's looking suspicious, definitely get it checked by a doctor. Often we see women with sun damage that have this small rough patch on the forehead or on the nose, on the cheeks, and it just doesn't seem to go away. And typically they come back after they've had it looked at, and the doctor says, it's a solar keratosis. Now, solar keratosis is the first sign of something not going right there. It might never turn into anything, but it also is a thing that the doctors keep an eye on just in case it changes, because if it changes, then it can turn into cancer. So, why?
I have a dry patch that hasn't gone away for years.
Is it on your face?
No.
On the back?
No.
Arms, legs?
In between my boobs.
Oh, okay.
Right, because I have a valley.
Yeah.
So it's in that valley. It's literally never goes away, no matter what I do.
All right. Okay. Well, let me have a look. You never told me, but
I never thought it was important.
No, but see,
there we go.
Sun damage can happen anywhere. We see this solar keratosis mostly on the face, on the ears, on the men's scalp. But skin cancers can happen anywhere. My work colleague had a melanoma on the upper thigh. And there was sun damage, right? Sun damage in her early days, and it just happened. I've known people who got it on the in between toes, on the feet. Yeah. So it's just keep an eye on it. So skincare is part of knowing your skin, and understand that no two skins are alike. Every skin is different. So that when you're thinking about skincare, you need to talk to somebody who's been trained in skincare, who's a beauty therapist, who's a skin specialist like you, who understand skin and skincare and can recommend their appropriate products. Did you know that your skin sheds and renews itself every month?
I had a bit of an idea that it might, because I know our skin is always resurfacing like toxicity, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Something.
Yeah.
So I just know that we always are having new skin.
Yes.
Like I knew that,
Yes.
but I didn't know about how specifically.
Yeah, interesting. Snakes.
Yeah.
You would walk in the bush and suddenly you see snake skin, and it looks like a snake because he's literally crawled out of his skin, and they go through that shedding process, but they shed all at once. The skin comes off all at once. With us humans, our skin renews itself every month, and we literally have a brand new skin every month, right? So
Is it gradual though?
It is. It happens like over 4 to 6 period, depending on the health of your skin and your age. So the baby cells are born at the bottom of the skin, and they gradually move their way to the surface. So on the surface, when you run your hands over your skin and it feels rough and if it's flaky, that's all your dead cells, and they're ready to come off. They're ready to shed.
Because that's what like exfoliation's all about. Is that what you were kind of...
And hydration.
Yes.
So
yes.
part of doing your skincare is understanding that your skin resurfaces, renews itself every month, and sometimes we need to help it to remove the dead cells of the surface. Otherwise, if you've got those dead cells on the surface, they can clog the pores, they can make the skin look dull, they can make the skin feel dry and rough. So if you want a healthy, glowy skin, then doing your skincare, particularly that exfoliation comes into once a week, is really important. When I was a student beauty therapist, we had our dermatologist come into our clinic, as I talked about on our other podcast. And the dermatologist came into our school and gave a talk to the students. And he said, the essentials of skincare. What is it? We know you prescribe drugs and medicines, for serious skin conditions. But when it comes down to just basic skincare, what should we be doing? And he said, cleanse, tone, moisturize, sunscreen every day, and then exfoliate regularly. Really, really important.
Yeah.
So that exfoliation process keeps the skin healthy, keeps it renewing at a healthy rate. But we come back to moisturizing is really important too.
Yes.
Because dehydrated skin can't exfoliate itself effectively by itself. The skin exfoliates through natural enzymes that are present in the skin, and the enzymes require water to be activated to actually work to dissolve the bonds so that the flakes come off, so the dead skins come off. So if your skin is dehydrated, if you're not hydrating your skin will accumulate the dead cells. That you see prevalent during winter.
Yeah.
And again, this is part of knowing your skin, being aware how your skin changes through the seasons. And during the winter, it's lower humidity outside, it's colder, which sucks the moisture out of your skin. And if your skin then becomes dehydrated, then you accumulate dead cells, then you have this dull look to your skin, and then all sorts of other issues can happen. So that exfoliation is important. Gentle exfoliation once a week. Most people only need gentle exfoliation once a week, and then hydration to keep them skin nice and healthy.
And on that note, I want to mention for people who might be learning more about exfoliation is to also be gentle. You don't need to harshly scrub at your face, because I used to do that. But especially with those physical exfoliants, because people say they want to feel something. They want to feel like they're rubbing off that layer of skin. But being so harsh can cause those micro tears, and bacteria can spread, and all of those issues that you don't want. Like, you just be gentle, and even if it doesn't feel like you're scrubbing off your face, like, it's doing something. And that's where chemical exfoliants are really good, at least in my opinion, from what I've been learning, is because they can get more of that even layer. They reduce likelihood of the micro tears and stuff.
Absolutely. I think scrubs were great in the beginning where the skincare wasn't sophisticated like it is today.
Yeah.
Like, they talk about...
First step.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And Cleopatra used to get sand and rub that on her skin, and that's how she exfoliated her skin.
Yeah.
So in the early days, scrubs were what they knew to polish up the skin. But then we learned over the years that over scrubbing can actually harm your skin. And so new products came on the market that were more sophisticated, more gentle, more effective in cases than a scrub could ever be, yet more gentle. So I work with a particular product, which is a biological skin peel. It's a peeling paste. There's no AHAs, no BHAs, no enzymes, and no scrub in it. But it literally acts like a peeling paste. You put it on like a mask, let it dry, and then you roll it off. And it's called gommage. And it's the hero product of a range that
Yeah.
we use, because it can be used on any skin, even sensitive skin. People with dermatitis, eczema can use it. People with acne can use it. You can even use it around the eyes. It effectively removes all the dead cells without irritation. In fact, it calms
it's
the
like
skin.
you can't feel your dead skin.
No.
Like that. I think that's like where that you know how the human mind is so interesting, and it's all about the texture and the feel. Like, it's like how people say that scientists, or food scientists in particular, will study how to get the perfect crunch of a chip,
Yeah.
in order for it to get famous, because it's addictive to get that perfect crunch. And even though we don't even really think about it consciously, it's something that we are drawn to. So it's the same thing, that feeling and that sensation of scrubbing off, like, you know, getting into your skin and feeling as if it's fresh and it's smooth. That sensation, that's what sells. But it's not like just rubbing off the gamage. It feels like you're just rubbing off the mask, but you don't feel your dead skin cells coming off.
Yeah.
Exactly, because it's so. I've used it.
Yeah.
It is so beautiful.
Super gentle.
Yeah.
Super gentle. So scrubs are okay if they're very fine particle, they're rolled particles, so they're rolling over the skin rather than harsh edges to the small particles that scratch your skin, because then they can introduce bacteria into your skin. And your skin will tell you, again, coming back to listening to your skin will tell you if it likes it or not.
Yeah.
If your skin is super red afterwards, if your skin is tingly, itching, burning afterwards, you've overdone it, or it's the wrong product for your skin. Then you need to look for something that will be more gentle. So try not to overdo it. The worst case I ever came across of somebody who over exfoliated the skin and destroyed the barrier, and it gave them some scarring as a result. Granulomas on her skin. Granulomas are essentially scarring, but this is scarring with the calcium deposits that form in the skin in order for the skin to protect itself from over exfoliation, over treatment of the skin. She YouTubed a scrub, and there was a recipe. Use coffee.
So also a self-made one.
Self-made at home. Use coffee grains, apple cider vinegar. So coffee grains, apple cider vinegar, and then she was putting something else in it. I can't believe it. She scrubbed her face every day with that. So she did it first because it felt good, and then I'll do it every day for a long time. So until her skin
like
started.
over months?
Yeah, like weeks and months. Even after skin became sensitized, she was doing it because she had some congestion, she had some breakouts, so she wanted to scrub away her acne. And listeners, you can't scrub away your acne. In fact, irritate it.
Yeah.
You can make it worse, right?
And that's where more bacteria can get in. Once you've opened that up, you've scrubbed it open.
And you spread it around, or you overstimulate that inflammation that causes more breakout. She came to me, how can I fix it? I've been to see dermatologists, nobody wants to deal with me. I suggested, she go and see a beauty therapist. They looked at her, nobody wanted to deal with it because they didn't know how to deal with it, right? So it was a really sad situation. So I really shared that story to help our listeners take a lesson away from that. Don't overdo it with your skin, because like I said earlier, your skin, remember, you can at the very least end up with a sensitized skin, or at the worst case situation end up with granulomas on your face.
Yeah, I want to kind of follow on that, just as a little thing that I remember in like the 2010s, maybe 2015 era, there was on YouTube of DIY. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Or the do-it-yourself.
They're still around, but not as much.
Of course, and so much of it is really fun, but something that is seemingly innocent that can actually be somewhat dangerous, or is the DIY in hair care, skin care, things like that. Because if you think about it, skincare that you actually like invest in is formulated and has been tested to be safe for your skin. If you make up this concoction at home and become your little witch dream, like with your cauldron, making up things, like even if they seem to be natural ingredients and stuff, sometimes like it might not, maybe it's not even harmful, but it just won't do anything, even if it might feel like a temporary relief. I just want to say that as much as it can be fun to do DIY, again, they haven't been tested. It might not do anything. It might not be doing what you want it to be. There's just so many things that could go wrong, or could just not do the thing you want it to do. So please just, again, go speak to a beauty therapist, a dermatologist, someone. Reach out to Yana, Mum. Reach out for a second opinion if, because again, with skin, like Mum said, it's has a memory, it's accumulative, it's progress, it's time, it's consistency, it's patience. You can't do a quick fix at home with a DIY, unfortunately. No. As much as it feels like that self-care, the self-care is leaving your bananas and leaving like your apple cider. Yeah, leave your turmeric. Just wait and then, get that second opinion.
Yeah.
That's at least my opinion. Maybe there's some things out there that are like, they have the perfect formula.
Yeah.
And because I've seen people like doing skin, like hair care in particular, that there might be like a hair mist that's really good. Yeah, my opinion is to always go back to the things that have been formulated.
Yeah.
Safely and again have been tested.
Yeah, absolutely. Home care can be fun, like you said, but it can not work or be even damaging to the skin,
Yeah.
Putting apple cider vinegar with coffee grains on your skin every single day, it's highly irritating.
Yeah.
And there are some natural spices like the cinnamons and the whatever that people can mix in a mask. They're skin irritants. They're known as skin irritants. So they might be used in a skincare formula, but they're used in such a way to reduce that irritation.
Like
and they use
a
it for the benefits,
percentage,
for the antioxidant action. Yeah, exactly. Tiny little percentage, not a whole tablespoon that you rub into your face. So yeah, be careful and just be gentle with your skin. And like I said, listen to your skin. If it's reacting, it doesn't like it. So don't push it.
Yeah.
So we talked about that, and my final point about why I do skincare is really addressing skin concerns, treating your skin concerns. So if you do, and which is what we just talked about, if you have acne, if you have aging, pigmentation, rosacea, eczema, dermatitis or whatever, talk to a specialist. And then you can include into your skincare routine specific products or treatments that will help you out. That's why we do skincare as well. So if you do have a breakout, there is a spot treatment you can put on, leave it on overnight. Recently, I've been telling people about the success you've had. One of the masks I introduced you to, and actually your sister, I gave her the mask and said she had a bit of a breakout. So funny. She had a bit of a breakout. It goes, oh, Mum, I'm so frustrated. I had another breakout. So I gave her, put this mask on, leave it on overnight, and then just let me know. And she used that AHA, BHA serum underneath as well. Anyway, in the morning, I'm in the kitchen making a cup of tea, and from her room, I hear, Mom!
Which is completely across the house, by the way.
Across the house, she goes, Mom, I go, oh my God, what has happened? So I run to her, she goes, they're gone! Mom, they're gone. I said, I told you. So she was blown away that overnight her pimples dried up and actually all that redness has gone down because she couldn't believe how quickly it worked. Yeah, so part of that skincare is that addressing the skin concerns as they come up if you need to.
Yeah.
But just summarizing it all, really, it comes down to it's basic hygiene, it's prevention and maintenance, it's that psychological aspect, looking after yourself. It's knowing your skin and keeping an eye on your skin and understanding how it changes through the different seasons and how it's affected by diet, nutrition, your lifestyle. And then finally, when you do have any skin concerns, then addressing those skin concerns. I will probably finish off at the end by saying that I'll share with you my most important tip, and I kind of touched on it earlier. My most important beauty tip is consistency is the key to a healthy glowing skin because your skin has that memory. In 10, 20, 30 years from now, your skin will show the results of how it was treated today. So treat it kindly and treat it with the respect. That's a really good way to finish and on answering. Now, I think you've got lots of tools at your disposal and lots of ideas what to talk about when somebody says, why should I be looking after my skin? And even somebody who's coming in new, they're younger and they're brand new into it, just get them started with the basics. And like I said, cleanse, tone, moisturize, sunscreen, and then exfoliate regularly. If you stick with those basics while you've got a healthy skin, you'll have a healthier skin into the future as well.
Exactly, yeah. And that's it. Just have patience coming from someone who's still on, unfortunately, an acne journey. Just have patience and have grace for yourself.
Yeah, you'll have good days, you'll have bad days. And when you have those bad days, you've got the tools.
Yeah.
You've got the resources to be able to address it. And that in its way, that will help build confidence. There's nothing worse than when you're faced with a situation and you don't know what to do. right? You don't know what to do. There is nothing you can do. If you think you nothing you can do. But if you've got the tools and resources, you've got your skin coach that you can go to and see.
Yana Elston.
Olivia Elston. Then, if you've got somebody and to talk to and can help you, guide you, then go and see them and get that help. So thank you, Olivia. Thank you. We had such a fun discussion. And listen, you must also listen to our other episode we recorded together on Olivia's podcast, Heavenly Feminine, which was slightly a different angle what we talked about. Really interesting discussion. So I'll put a link to that podcast in my show notes. And also I have a gift for you. I've put together a skincare guide. So a skincare guide that will guide you through everything we talked about today. We've taken all the notes and put it into a guide you can download for free on my website, yanaelston.com. That's JANAELSTON.com. I'll put a link in the show notes. So thank you so much, Olivia. It was so fun.
Yes.
And I would love to bring you back and talk about your journey, your personal skincare journey, your acne journey, and how you dealt with it and how you were confronted with it, what you went through and how you dealt with it and the lessons you took away from that. So
for sure.
I can't wait to have you back.
No, I'm very passionate about that, and especially I come from the lens of mental health linking to that skincare. So I am so excited to share.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Thank you for listening. If you found this information valuable, please share this podcast with your friends and family and spread the word. In this episode, we explored the topic of why people should use skincare products. We discussed some of the essentials of a good skincare routine and how to take care of your skin, along with sharing some great tips. Visit my website at yanaelston.com to download your free Essential Skincare Guide. If you wish to receive an email when new episodes are available for download, sign up for the newsletter on my website. I really look forward to bringing you another exciting episode next week where Olivia and I talk about her acne journey and great tips for managing oily skin, textured skin, acne, and acne scarring. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast or follow me on Instagram at Yana Elston to be notified when the episode is released. And to listen to Olivia's podcast, search for Heavenly Feminine Podcast on your favorite podcast player. Follow Olivia on Instagram at Heavenly Feminine Official for the latest updates. Until next time, have a beautiful week. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast and tune in each week for the latest beauty news and trends. If you have any comments or questions, you can connect with me on my Facebook group, Skincare Teacher Beauty Tips. You will find a link in my show notes. Until next time, have a beautiful week.